Okay, so show me this cash. You said you have the books, right? Well, I need to know if you got enough to cover the bill, Danny said, looking at me directly. I suppose wondering if I was just toying with him. Books were a hard commodity to come by. I took a deep breath. Well, let's start this off slow, I thought to myself. Maybe I have enough just in here to cover it. Okay, Danny, I said. Just follow me. I took Danny towards the back end of the steel mill, where I had some heavy-duty steel containers set up, where all of my books had been stowed away and locked safely inside. After unlocking them and removing the latch, I opened up the steel container to reveal a massive stack of books. Holy hell. You weren't shitting me. To be honest, at this point, I'm actually a little pissed off. I mean, seriously, we've been hurting for money, and here you are sitting on a freaking fortune. I mean, look at all these. And not only are they full books, but they're in damn good condition. Aside from a little dust on the cover, he said, picking up one of the books, looking it over and dusting it off a bit. All of the pages seem to be intact. They don't seem to have any severe weathering. I don't think I've ever seen books in this good a condition in my life. Every one I've ever seen has been torn to hell. But these ones are in great shape, he said, starting to look through them one after another, picking them up and moving them around, checking the titles and covers. Holy hell, you got a lot of this. Unfortunately, most of them seem to be fiction or biographies. There's not a lot of hard science in here. Don't get me wrong, this is still a freaking treasure trove. Even fiction stories and biographies have a high sell price. They can contain valuable information, as well as pass on stories for people. Their price tag is nowhere near as high as scientific books, but it's still more than enough. It's kind of a shame, actually. Looking over your count here, which is freaking substantial, I'd say you have more money than most people are ever gonna see. But I'm sorry to say that because of the topics of the books, I don't think this is gonna be quite enough to cover it. This will get you maybe 2/4 of the way. 3/4 if you're lucky. Damn, but that was a close one. If only I'd had a bit more in this stash. But we could still do some great stuff with this. If you're willing to part with them, we could definitely get some good stuff for your motorcycle. Make some serious upgrades. I sighed deeply for a moment. Oh, don't get discouraged. I mean, the price tag on this steel was ridiculous to begin with. But the amount is what pushes it into absolutely absurd. But there are still plenty of other options, man. I passed a concerned look over to Emily as she followed us over. Hey, let me ask you something. I'm not gonna ask you about the specifics, but this is something that I need to know. I know you and your brother had a falling out of sorts. I don't know over what, and I'm not asking. But the one thing that I do need to know about it is if I can trust him. Did your falling out have to do with some measure of betrayal or untrustworthiness? I said, giving her a very serious look, trying to gauge a response as best I could. I know she was angry at him, so just in case, I wanted to get a solid read. make sure she wasn't just telling me what would run contrary to Danny's interests, or to try to throw a stopper in things when there was no need for one. Emily wasn't exactly known for her ability to let go of a grudge. She looked back and forth between me and Danny for a moment, before giving Danny a very stern expression. I'm telling you, if looks could kill. She sighed a bit. No, it wasn't a matter of betrayal. He didn't turn coat on me, or anything like that. No, me and Danny's falling out was a matter of his sheer goddamn stupidity and the cost that we paid for it. Once again, Danny grew a very ashamed look, lowering his head, as if he couldn't really stand a looker in the eye. As far as trustworthiness, as far as I can remember from him, he's not going to turn coat on you. That being said, I wouldn't count on his intelligence to keep you alive, that is, Emily said, crossing her arms and turning away, as if she really couldn't stand to give him any sort of positive review. I sighed again. Okay, so I can at least believe for the moment being that he's not gonna screw me over. Well, Danny, don't worry. I still have enough to cover the tab. And for your information, this isn't the stash. This is just what I keep inside. The ones that I've been reading through. Follow me, I said, as I began to walk out back from the steel mill. Danny got up and began to follow, along with Emily. I took them out a little ways from the back of the steel mill. There was a sizable cleared area. I didn't take long to find the hatch. A steel door covered in dust and dirt in order to hide it from any prying eyes. After dusting off the area with the handle and lifting it up, massive amounts of sand and dirt began to fall off of it, filling the air around us for a few moments as I pushed the door all the way to open, and it fell back, slamming on the other side, pushing up more dust and debris. But as it cleared a bit, we could see the massive hole in the ground, with a stairway leading down. I took no time at all to begin walking down myself, as Emily and Danny followed close behind. After a few moments of walking down the steps, we eventually reached the bottom floor. I reached to the side, turning on a small, localized generator that I kept in here. As it roared to life, the lights in this room began to turn themselves on, one by one, turning on one after another in series, each one beginning to light deeper and deeper and deeper into the room, going more than 100 foot back in the other direction. The lights revealing a somewhat dusty room with endless stacks of books from front to back, all piled and stacked in different places. Holy fucking shit. You're kidding me. It's like you got an entire freaking library down here. It would take years to hawk all of this. This is just more money than I have ever freaking seen. just laying in the bottom of a hole. I'm not even sure if I could ever spend all this. Even if you sold it off. What the hell would you buy with this much? You said science books have the highest sale price, right? Things containing useful information, metallurgy, chemistry. Well, that would be those 4 stacks over there, I said, lifting my left arm and pointing to the midsection of the room, where there were about 4 very large stacks of books. Hundreds of them. That's where all of the scientific books are located. If those have the highest sale price, we should probably stick to them. It'll limit the total number that we have to exchange. After all, the more we exchange off, the more questionable it becomes. And people will start talking about large shipments of books. Your reputation may be good for a certain amount of protection, but there's still people crazy enough to come for it if they find out about the sheer amount. So, Danny, can I trust you to keep your mouth shut? I said, looking over to him, as he just stared off, looking into this massive room filled with books in every direction. Yeah, he said, still somewhat aghast. You can count on me. I'll keep my mouth shut. But I gotta ask, where the hell did you get all of these? I mean, really, the entire freaking world burnt down. Where the hell did you pull a library out of your ass? Danny, I'm gonna tell you this one time, and only one time. Forget about it. Don't ask me again. Don't bring it up. Because I don't want to talk about it. Just collect what you need in order to make the transaction, and make sure that those goons of yours stay clear. If I find any one of them sneaking around here, I will put them down. You can be assured of it.